ඉනතුරුව කියවෘත්ති 2015 2016
and right from the top is to have
සන්නත්පත්‍රය මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අපි
මෙම කොට්ටාසේ ප්‍රධාන කාර්යයන් ලෙස අපරාධයක විඳිතයන්ට සහ සාක්ෂිකරුවන්ට සහාය හා ආරක්ෂාව ලබා දීම, අපරාධයක විඳිතයන්ට සහ සාක්ෂිකරුවන්ට සහ ඔවුන්ගේ දේපළවලට සිදු කරනු ලබන ප්‍රචණ්ඩ ක්‍රියා පිළිබඳව යම් පැමිණිල්ලක් ලද විට විමර්ශනය කිරීම ආදිය පනතේ දක්වා ඇති අතර එම කාර්යයන් ප්‍රායෝගිකව සාක්ෂාත් වනු පිණිස කැපවීමෙන් හා නිර්මාණාත්මකව කටයුතු කරමින් දීප ව්‍යාප්තව සිදු කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය උපදෙස් හා නියෝග කඩිනමින් ලබා දීමට ක්‍රියා කරන බව ඔබ වෙත දන්වා සිටිමි.
It has an important role to play. And I, as the minister, am pleased that I will also have a role to play in this. I had the fortune of having some education and experience internationally as well. And in some of those countries, witness protection goes a long way. I know some countries go to the extent of recreating your life completely. Your records are erased and new records created. You're relocated, new identification from your identification number to your name. And that is necessary sometimes to be able to have justice in the system. This being a new one will need a lot of capacity building, a lot of training for our officers. So whilst creating the laws, we will also have to look at ways of having access to this modern way of operating, this new training, this capacity building. The other important thing is the awareness amongst the people. That is also going to be very, very important. Otherwise, the people, if they don't know that they have protection, will not come forward, and we will have the same old system.
This is an historic event in our judicial history as well as the history of the police. Now there is a sense of security for the victims as well as for the witnesses to come forward and to agitate their rights, and finally to ensure that the rule of law is upheld within the legal framework of this country. I feel that this is an event where that I should clarify it. අපේ දේශීය මාධ්‍ය විසින් සැකපිට පොලිසියේ සිටින සැකකරුවන් සම්බන්ධව නීතිඥ සහාය ලබා ගැනීමට ඇති අයිතිය පිළිබඳව තියෙන නීති තත්ත්වය විකෘති කරලා මාධ්‍ය තුලින් රටට සහ ලෝකෙට ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා. What they represented to the general public, locally as well as internationally, was that there is no law in this country to ensure the lawyers' access to suspects in police custody. That is wrong. It is not in the statute, that is true. But sometimes back when there was some incident, that is in between a lawyer who went to the police station to represent a suspect, there was a litigation. But one must take into consideration, when some of the human rights groups, NGOs, when they go to the extreme level of protecting the rights of suspects of criminal, there is no single NGO or civil organization in this country to look into the grievances of victims and witnesses. That is a sad part of it. Everybody is concerned about suspects, prisoners, that is good. But at the same time, what will happen if the rights of the victims and witnesses are not protected, then there will be anarchy situation. It happened in Sri Lanka. Sometimes the victims take the law into their own hand. Why? That they have no confidence in this judicial system, the justice will be done. Unless that there is a proper investigation and a proper prosecution, either by the Attorney General or the police, then the conviction rate is very low. That is one of the criticism against our judiciary and the police. Some people comments that our judicial system and the police is so weak. That is why the conviction rate is so low. But at the same time, there is a pressure on us by human rights activists and various other international organizations that you must bring the law into the universal uniformity. What is that? The access must be given from the inception. So I hope, I have my confidence, the Victims and Witnesses Protection Authority as well as the police officers who will be having special training in the future, that they will implement this law for the benefit of all our people in this country.